Hello mga math-aaral! Welcome to my Taglish step-by-step math video tutorial. In this video, I am going to discuss general annuity. We are going to compute future value of general annuity and compute present value of general annuity. Let's recall the following terms. General annuity. General annuity is an annuity where the length of the payment interval is not the same as the length of the interest compounding period. General ordinary annuity. A general annuity which the periodic payment is made at the end of the payment interval. Examples of general annuity: monthly installment payment of a car, lot, or house with an interest rate that is compounded annually. Paying a debt semi-annually when the interest is compounded monthly. In finding the future value and the present value of general annuity, we are going to use the following formulas. So for future value formula, we have F equals R times the quantity 1 plus J raised to N minus 1 over J. And for the present value formula, we have P equals R times the quantity 1 minus the quantity 1 plus J raised to negative N over J. Where F now is the future value or maturity value, R is the regular payment, P is the present value. R or I raised to M is the annual rate of interest, and T is our time. Since in the formula we have N and J, N now is the number of payments, where N is equal to the product of M and T. J is the equivalent interest rate per payment interval converted from interest rate per period, where J now is equal to R over M. And for the value of M, or our conversion period, or the number of times in a year the interest will be compounded, the following are the common conversion periods in a year. For annually, the value of M is 1. Semi-annually, M is equal to 2. Quarterly, our M is equal to 4. And for monthly, our M is equal to 12. Let's solve example number 1. Marco started to deposit 1,000 monthly in a fund that pays 6% compounded quarterly. How much will be in the fund after 10 years? So ano yung mga given natin sa problem? We have 1,000 pesos. So since 1,000 pesos is the regular payment of Marco, 1,000 now is our R, or periodic payment or regular payment. And since it is compounded quarterly, our M now is equal to 4. And the interest rate compounded quarterly is 6%. So, I raised to M, our M is 4, so I now raised to 4. And I raised to 4, or the interest rate compounded quarterly, is 6%. And 6% must be written into decimal. So, para maisulat natin yung 6% into decimal, just move the decimal point twice to the left. So, from this point, we move 1, 2. So, we have now 0.06. And 10 years now is our time. So, formula natin merong N. So, we need to find first the value of N or the number of payments. Ilang beses magbabayad si Marco ng 1,000 pesos for 10 years. So since it is monthly payment, our M now is 12 and the time is 10 years. So to find the number of payments or N, just multiply the value of M and T. So yung M natin is 12 times yung T is 10. So 12 times 10 is 120. So 120 times or 120 beses magbabayad si Marco. Sa ating formula, merong J. So, kailangan nating mahanap yung value ng J. So, to find the value of J, let's convert 6% compounded quarterly to its equivalent interest rate for monthly payment interval. So, we denote the interest rate as F sub 1 and F sub 2. Where F sub 1 is the interest rate for monthly payment. At yung F sub 2 natin ay interest rate naman compounded quarterly. So yung M natin sa F sub 1 is 12 since it is monthly. At yung M natin sa F sub 2 is 4 since it is quarterly. So the formula is P times the quantity 1 plus I raised to M over M raised to MT. So pareho sila because F sub 1 is equal to F sub 2. I repeat, F sub 1 is the interest rate for monthly payment. So yung M natin dito ay 12. So palitan lamang yung M ng 12. So 12 over 12, then we have 12P. Then, just drop the P on both sides. So, i-drop natin yung P on both sides. So, mapapansin nyo, wala na yung P dito, wala na rin dito. Ang meron na lang ay yung sa loob ng parenthesis at yung kanilang exponent. So, for F sub 2, our I raised to 4 is 0.06. So, pinalitan ko na yung I raised to M dito ng 0.06. Over 4. I repeat, yung F sub 2 natin dito ay interest rate compounded quarterly. So, yung M natin dito ay 4. So, we have now raised to 4T. Next is, i-drop natin yung T sa magkabilang side. Delete T, delete T. So, mapapansin nyo, wala na tayong T. I just copied 1 plus I raised to 12 over 12 raised to 12 equals, dito naman ay yung 1 plus 0.06 over 4 raised to 4. I repeat, we drop the T. Next is just copy 1 plus I raised to 12 over 12 raised to 12 equals. Then, let's simplify 1 plus 0.06 over 4. So, pag sinimplify natin yung sa loob ng parenthesis, it is now equal to 1.015 raised to 4. Next is, kailangan matanggal yung ating raised to 12 dito. So, para matanggal ay ililipat natin sa kabilang side. So, para mailipat natin yung 12 na exponent dito sa kabilang side, kukunin natin ang kanyang reciprocal. So, the reciprocal of 12 is 1 over 12. Then, just copy 1 plus I raised to 12 over 12. So, we have now on the right side, the quantity 1.015 raised to 4 raised to 1 half. Next is, let's simplify 1.015 raised to 4 raised to 1 half. Or unahin muna natin yung exponents. So, 4 times 1 over 12 is equal to 1/3. And then, just copy 1.015. And then, yung 1 dito ay ilipat natin sa right side. Transpose. So, pag transpose natin yung positive 1 ay magiging negative 1. So, on this side, ang natira na lang ay I raised to 12 over 12. Next is simplify 1.015 raised to 1/3 minus 1. And it's now equal to 0.00497521. In simplifying like this, use your scientific calculator. I raised to 12 over 12 now is the value of J. So, it is now our J. Then, just copy 0.00497521. So, the value of J now is 0.00497521. So, since we have now the value of N and J, we can now substitute it to our formula. So, F now is equal to R times the quantity 1 plus J raised to N minus 1 over J. So, let's just substitute the values of R, J, and N. So, F now, or future value, is equal to, our R is 1,000 times the quantity 1 plus our J now is 0.00497521 raised to our N, which is 120 minus 1 all over our J is 0.00497521. So, simplifying this using our calculator, we will get 163.6150466069. And multiplying it to 1,000, we will get 163,615.05. So, our future value now is this one. Thus, Marco will have 163,615.05 pesos in the fund after 10 years. Example number 2. A student saves 2,000 pesos every 6 months in a bank that pays 0.15% compounded monthly. How much will be her savings after 5 years? So, what are the given in the problem? We have 2,000 pesos. And this 2,000 pesos is the regular payment of the student every 6 months in 5 years. So, our R now is 2,000 pesos. And since it is compounded monthly, our M now is 12. And the interest rate is 0.15%. I raised to M, our M is 12, so I raised to 12. So, it is 0.15%. And percent must be written into decimal. So, para maging decimal yung ating percent, just move the decimal point twice to the left. So, from this point, we move 1, 2. So, we have now 0.0015. And 5 years now is our time. Sa formula, meron tayong N. So we need to find first the value of N or the number of payments. Ilang beses magbabayad yung student ng 2,000 every 6 months in 5 years. So since every 6 months siya, it is semi-annually. So since it is semi-annually, our M now is 2. And 5 years is the time. So to find the number of payments, just multiply M and T. So our M is 2 times the time is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. So 10 payments. So 10 beses magbabayad yung student ng 2,000 pesos every 6 months in 5 years. Sa formula, meron tayong J. So, kailangan natin hanapin muna yung value ng J. And to find the value of J, convert 0.15% compounded monthly to its equivalent interest rate for each semi-annual payment interval. So, we denote the two interests as F sub 1 and F sub 2, and they are equal. Note that F sub 1 is the interest rate for each semi-annual payment. At yung F sub 2 naman ay interest rate compounded monthly. So sa F sub 1, ang ating M is 2, since F sub 1 is interest rate for each semi-annual payment. Semi-annual, our M is 2. So just change all M into 2. So 2, 2, 2. As you can see, wala na yung T dito at wala na rin yung P. So drop P and T. Delete P, delete T. Wala nang P dito, wala na ring T dito. Likewise, on the other side, wala na yung T at wala na yung P. Drop P, drop T. So, dito naman sa F sub 2, ang ating M, since F sub 2 is the interest rate compounded monthly, so monthly, ang M is 12. So, just change all M here into 12. So, 12, 12, 12. Next is substitute the value of I raised to 12. So, our I raised to 12 is 0.0015. So, we have now here 1 plus I raised to 12 is 0.0015 over 12 raised to 12. Dito sa kabila, just copy this one. So, just copy. Now, simplify 1 plus 0.0015 over 12. So, using your calculator, we will get 1.000125. Then, just copy raised to 12. Next is, kailangan mawala yung exponent dito sa ating left side. So, para mawala yung exponent na 2, ilipat natin siya sa left side. So, pag nilipat natin to, we will get the reciprocal of 2, which is 1/2. So, andito na siya sa right side. Then, just copy yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. Now, simplifying the exponents 12 times 1/2, 12 times 1/2 now is 6. Then, yung 1 dito ay ililipat din natin sa right side. So, pag nilipat natin yung 1 sa right side ay magiging negative 1. Then, just copy I raised to 2 over 2. Now, simplifying 1.000125 raised to 6 minus 1 it is now equal to 0.00075023441. Use the calculator in simplifying this and copy all the answers. Then I sub 2, I raised to 2 over 2 is now our J. So J now is equal to 0.00075023441. Since we have already the values of J, N, and R, we can now find the future value using this formula. So F now, or future value, is equal to R, which is 2,000, times the quantity 1, plus the value of J is 0.00075023441, raised to the value of N is 10 minus 1 all over our J, 0.00075023441. So simplifying this using your scientific calculator, we will get 20,067.66. Thus, the student will be able to save 20,067.66 pesos after 5 years. Let's have example number 3. Dave borrowed an amount of money from Brent. He agrees to pay the principal plus interest by paying 38,973.76 each year for 3 years. How much money did he borrow if interest is 8% compounded quarterly? So what is being asked in the problem is how much did they borrow? And borrowed money is the principal or the present value. So the missing in the problem is the present value. So what are the given in the problem? We have here 38,973.76, which is the regular payment of Dave. So R now is 38,973.76. And 3 years is the time. And since it is compounded quarterly, our M now is 4. And the interest rate is 8%. So since it is compounded quarterly, our M now is 4. So we have now I raised to 4. And it is 8%. And this 8% must be written into decimal. To write 8% into decimal, just move the decimal point twice to the left. So 1, 2. So we have now 0.08. In the formula, we have N and J. So we need to find first the value of N and the value of J. N now is the number of payments. Ilang beses magbabayad si Dave kay Brent. So since si Dave ay magbabayad yearly or annually, ang M natin is 1 and our T is 3. So to find the number of payments, just multiply M and T. So our M now is 1 times the T is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So we have 3 payments. So tatlong beses magbabayad si Dave kay Brent. Now let's find the value of J. Convert 8% compounded quarterly to its equivalent interest rate for each payment interval. To denote the two interest rate, we use F sub 1 and F sub 2, and they are equal. So the formula is P times 1 plus I raised to M over M raised to MT, and they are equal. Take note that F sub 1 is for the interest rate each payment, or the interest rate annually. And F sub 2 is the interest rate that is compounded quarterly. So since yung F sub 1 natin ay for annually, yung M natin ngayon is 1. So papalitan lang natin tong M natin ng 1. So we have now 1, 1, 1. And for F sub 2, our M is 4 since it is compounded quarterly. So papalitan lamang natin yung M dito ng 4. So we have now 4, 4, 4. And as you can see, wala na yung P at yung T on both sides. So we drop the P and T on both sides. Ang natira na lamang ay yung nasa parenthesis, yung nasa loob ng parenthesis at yung exponents. Now, simplifying this, I sub 4 now is equal to 0.08 over 4. Just copy this one on the left side. So, simplifying 1 plus 0.08 over 4 is equal to 1.02 raised to 4. Next is, kailangan mawala yung 1 dito sa ating left side of the equation. Para mawala itong exponent na 1, ilipat natin siya sa right side ng equation. Pag nilipat natin yung 1, we get the reciprocal. And the reciprocal of 1 is still 1. So, ang natira na lang sa left side is yung nasa loob ng parenthesis na 1 plus I sub 1, I raised to 1 over 1. Now, simplifying 1.02 raised to 4 raised to 1 is 1.02 raised to 4. So, 4 times 1 is 4. And yung 1 dito ay kailangan nating ilipat sa right side. So, pag transpose natin yung positive 1, magiging negative 1. So, ang natira na lamang sa ating left side is yung I raised to 1 over 1. Now, simplifying 1.02 raised to 4 minus 1 using our calculator, we will get 0.08243216. And I raised to 1 over 1 is now our J. And J now is equal to 0.08243216. So, since meron na tayong value ng J, ng N, at yung ating R, we can now solve for the present value using this formula. So, present value now is equal to, our R is 38,973.76 times the quantity 1 minus the quantity 1 plus yung J natin, which is 0.08243216 raised to negative N, where N now is 3, over our J is 0.08243216. So, simplifying this, using our scientific calculator, we will get 2.5658289728. And multiplying this to 38,973.76 using our calculator, we will get 100,000 pesos. So our present value is 100,000 pesos. Thus, Dave borrowed 100,000 pesos from Brent. Let's solve the last example. Mrs. Diaz would like to buy a refrigerator payable for 6 months, starting at the end of the month. How much is the cost of the refrigerator if her monthly payment is 3,000 pesos and interest is 9% compounded semi-annually? So what is being asked in the problem is the cost of the refrigerator. So it is the present value. So what are the given in the problem? We have 3,000 pesos. And 3,000 pesos is the monthly payment of Mrs. Diaz. So it is now our R or regular payment. And since it is compounded semi-annually, our M now is 2. And the interest rate is 9%. So I raised to 2 is equal to 9%. And 9% must be written into decimal. So to write percentage into decimal, just move the decimal point twice to the left. So from this point, we move 1, 2. So we have now 0.09. And the time is 6 months. In the formula, we need the value of N and J. N now is the number of payments. So, ilang beses magbabayad si Mrs. Diaz is 6 months. So, 6 na taon, 6 na buwan magbabayad si Mrs. Diaz. So, she has 6 payments. Next is, we need the value of J. Kasi merong J dun sa formula. So, to find for J, convert 9% compounded semi-annually to its equivalent interest rate for each monthly payment interval. Interest rate, the two interest rate is denoted as F sub 1 and F sub 2. And they are equal. The formula is F P times 1 plus I raised to M over M raised to MT. And they are equal. So F sub 1 is the interest rate for each monthly payment. So since it is monthly, our M is 12. So papalitan natin yung M dito ng 12. So we have now 12, 12, 12. And for F sub 2, it is the interest rate compounded semi-annually. So since it is semi-annually, yung M natin ay 2. So papalitan natin yung M dito ng 2. So we have now 2, 2, 2. Then as you can see, wala na yung ating P at T. Sa magkabilang side ng ating equation, wala na yung P at T. So we drop P and T. We delete P and T. Kaya ito na lang yung natira. Now, just copy this one. Then yung I raised to 2 natin is 0.09. We substitute now the value of I raised to 2. It is 0.09 over 2 raised to 2. Now, simplifying this, 1 plus 0.09 over 2, using your calculator, it is equal to 1.045 raised to 2. Next is, kailangan mawala yung ating exponent na 12 dito sa left side. So, para mawala yung exponent na 12, ilipat natin siya sa right side. So, pag nilipat natin yung 12 sa right side, you get the reciprocal. At ang reciprocal ng 12 is 1 over 12. Now, simplifying this, unahin natin yung exponents. 2 times 1 over 12 is equal to 1 over 6. At yung 1 natin dito is kailangan din natin siyang ilipat sa right side. So, to transpose positive 1, magiging negative 1. So, we have now 1.045 raised to 1 over 6 minus 1. At yung natira na lang dito sa left side is yung I raised to 12 over 12. Now, simplifying this using your calculator, we will get 0.00736312. So, I raised to 12 over 12 is now our J. So, J now is equal to 0.00736312. So, since meron na tayong value ng J, ng N, at ng R, we can now find the present value using this formula. So, present value is equal to, our R is 3,000 times the quantity 1 minus the quantity 1 plus our J, which is 0.00736312 raised to negative N. And our N now is 6. So, we have here negative 6. All over, our J is 0.00736312. So, simplifying this using our scientific calculator, we will get 2.5658289728 times our R, which is 3,000. So, multiplying these two using your calculator, we will get 17,545.08. So, our present value is 17,545.08. Thus, the cost of the refrigerator is 17,545.08. Thank you for watching Math Aaral. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the YouTube channel. Thank you. Until next time, God bless.